to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we're back again. We've had quite a week.
Yeah.
Quite a week.
Yeah, we have.
So we're here. I'm going to go first because I've got very little to talk about. But, in my Mania work, I did some of it. I was pretty good for a while, but then I realized I really want to finish the crochet top. So I will show you what I have. I'm exactly halfway, probably. Halfway done with the squares before I can do it. But look at this. Today Hannah and I worked on it on the dress form. And that's the front.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and so I just need to... I have a few of each color yet left to make so I can make the back. I'm going to make the back similar to this mixed colors after all that debate. But yeah, so I did this so that if I can get the rest done, I can then just easily put them together. I've been looking all over for tutorials on joining for a pretty join, and there's one that looks like a braid, and I'm going to do that in this taupe color. So that's my accomplishment for this week. I'm really happy with that. I think it's cute. I'm going to make one more star square also for the back. So anyway, so that's that. And then I have big news. Huge. Okay. So this, at my house, is a trophy for the game Scopa, which is an Italian card game that we love. So I won that. And then this is a trophy for a game called Beans.
Very fun.
Yeah, and my husband put a sticker here, Bester Bonenbauer, because it's a German game. It's actually called Bonanza, like B-O-H-N, as in bean in German. Bonanza. And this is Bester Bonenbauer, which means best bean farmer. And I won that. And then last night, I won this again. So I am now Triple Crown. I have all 3 trophies. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to sit here for so they will be commemorated in this video forever. Mark usually has these on his desk, so it is very significant that I have all 3 right now. So, yay. So that's me, I think. Oh, but I also have something. I brought you a present. Cherry, fruit leather. You want apricot or strawberry?
Either one. Whichever one you don't want.
Just a little treat. These are good. They're just 100% fruit. No added sugar.
To counteract the chocolates Dad gave us?
Yeah. Dad came and passed out chocolates earlier.
That turtle was my dinner. I haven't eaten.
Oh no. But anyway, so that's me. I have some funny stories later, but yeah. For now that's what I'm working on.
I finished Mania. I did my 21 whips.
Oh wow.
Although there are some that I just barely did anything on because I was like juggling, because I have a finish, but that I crammed in, so and then so I was like, stitching at 3 o'clock in the morning and falling asleep, and I was all.
You make that sound like stitching at 3 o'clock in the morning is unusual for you.
She's always stitching at 3 o'clock in the morning.
But I mean,
She sleeps in spurts and stitches in between.
Huh? Do you make mistakes when you do that?
No, but I fall asleep while I'm stitching, So I have to, and I did do a big boo-boo.
Yeah, she told me that.
I fell asleep, and, I have my water bottle, has a screw-on lid and a screw-on top, screw-on sippy thing. Because that way, if it gets knocked over, because I have cats, it doesn't spill. But it's not entirely foolproof because it fell over last night. A couple nights ago. I don't know, the 20th. I don't know what day it was. So
the bottle fell over.
So the bottle fell over, and Snug was sleeping on top of it, lying on top of it. So
how does a cat like that sleep on top of a bottle?
It was tipped over, and he was on top of it, because he sleeps. He gets in the corner and anyway. But he knocked it, so it was knocked over. So I guess because there was Diet Pepsi or whatever, I don't know if it's the carbonation or the fact that maybe it wasn't shut right all the way or something, but it seeped
Oh no.
onto my bed, and I had fallen asleep with the stitching. I was working on the peacock, and so I woke up. And I thought, oh yeah, I need to go to the bathroom, and I was waking up, and I was like, I realized, of course, I had fallen asleep with it, all that, and then I saw.
You're like, I think I wet the bed in Diet Pepsi.
No, I grabbed the stitching and the working copy I have of the pattern was kind of crumpled, and so I went to pick it up, and it was like damp, and I thought, what? Why is this damp? And I realized the stitching was damp also. And then I saw where the thing had seeped, and it was like this big wet spot on my bed. And so I picked it up, and I realized that the stitching was wet, and it had you could see a line on it. And so, but I had to go to the bathroom, so I took it with me, and I went to the restroom. And after I went to the restroom, when I went to wash my hands, I just took it out of the hoop and everything, and washed it off, and I used just a drop of Dawn, and I scrubbed it, and it came out, thankfully. Because at first I was just going to leave it, and I thought, well, I don't want it to dry like that.
Yeah.
I want it, while it's still damp. So I had a minor, emergency. But yeah, but I finished all my Mania stuff, and I think I have one whip that I'm thinking that baby sampler that I'm thinking of.
I saw it on your Instagram. I'm like, oh no. That's when you started for Eli, right?
Yes.
When he was born.
What point is there in finishing that?
That's what I said. I was thinking,
Why don't you
would
de-stash
you
it or something?
be horribly disappointed if I got rid of it? Okay.
No, you know what you should do? Okay, so I watched these guys named Arne and Carlos. They're fabulous. They're from Norway. Great guys. They do knitting and cross stitch and needlepoint. And Arne goes to thrift shops and buys unfinished needlework and finishes them. And he did this one. It was so cool. It was supposed to be. I guess the person had done the roses in the middle, and so he, instead of finishing the pattern itself, he actually did a houndstooth background. It's gorgeous. So you should put that and the little pattern and give it to Goodwill. Maybe somebody will finish it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That if anybody out there wants it, and I was thinking about posting it in the various, like, on Facebook groups, whatever. But because I was working on it, and
because hopefully we're not having any babies.
I was working on it, and like it has like an inner border, just a line around the little alphabet. And then there's an outer line, and then in between there's like it's a border of like hearts and flowers. I don't know what all. But so I was doing the outer line, and I had done like part of it, just half stitches. I hadn't crossed them yet, so I went all the way around, and then I did a little bit of crossing the stitches, the upper cross. And it was like the first one that I really didn't feel
happy about.
Yeah, compelled to work on it.
Yeah.
Because like everything else, you think, oh, I wish I had more than one day, to work on this. Like I remember why I liked it so much or whatever. And that one, part of me does, because there's like, there's like, I was looking at the back stitching, and there's like, there's a moon, M is for moon. And there's a little moon and a little face, you put on it with back stitching. And part of me wanted to do that, but then at the same time I'm like, I don't want to fuss with that. I just don't want to do it. It's really cute, and all the alphabet is already done. I just need the border and the back stitching, and then like you're supposed to put the name of the baby and everything. Right. But the one thing that I did when I did it wrong. I oriented it wrong on the fabric. It still has enough to do a little bitty border or whatever, a little border.
Was that one of your first
well,
Patterns is
it's
pretty early, right?
yeah, because Eli is what 24, and I did it. I think not. I did it like shortly after he was born, like maybe a month after he was born, I think. And actually, that midnight meow thing is probably older.
Oh, yeah, I
than-
remember you saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But-
I mean, it's
But yeah, I've had it for such a long time, and I thought, it just sits there, and I bring it out for something like this, but I don't really, feel
Yeah.
compelled to finish it.
and you
And
could,
so,
yeah.
so I was thinking of doing what's called UFOing, just, and really there's, nothing else that I really feel that compelled about, but to ditch, except that, there's another one I have called Ingredients of a Happy Home or something like that, that I just don't want to do. I just don't have any compulsion to do. I didn't even put it in this whip rotation.
I've never even heard of that.
I haven't heard you
I-
mention that. Why?
I have-
Why did you have that?
It's kind of nice and it's I guess it like primarily blue, and that's one of the things that attracted me. And it's got like a little bird's nest in the middle and various things, and it came with a little. It was a kit, and it comes with a little metal like hanger thing, and it's already sewn in like a pennant shape or whatever. And so I think you stitch just like when it's finished, you stitch to put it on the hanger. You stitch a little what do you call it? You stitch it just to
Like a
hang it
lining
on the
stitch?
thing.
Uh-huh. Make a little
But
seam.
yeah, but otherwise it's already sewn in a little pennant shape or whatever. But I just I looked at it several months ago and I was like, I just don't feel like finishing it. So those two pieces, yeah, I don't feel compelled to finish. But speaking of finishing,
Oh yeah.
I did an FFO for my brother's birthday. This is this live edge kind of piece of wood, and I mounted this on sticky board basically, and this is blanket yarn, with the
Nice.
little trim
Like
around
chenille.
there. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool. It looks beautiful.
And so it's just glued on, and then I just hammered this nailless sawtooth
oh yeah.
hanger on there.
Did you measure it?
Yes, I did.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah. So I FFO'd this, and so I'm gonna wrap it up for my brother. I'm gonna see him this week we gotta
Yeah.
go camping.
Not really camping.
Yeah,
Not
glamping.
Camping. Yeah.
But the other thing is that cross stitch camp. It's a virtual camp, of course, because we're not going to cross stitch camp.
I wish you could go to cross stitch
I
camp.
know.
Fun.
But so Colorado cross stitcher. Her name I think is Sherry. I don't know off the top of my head. But anyway, she came up with the idea. She has a
A yarn.
yarn shop
Mm-hmm.
called the Loopy U. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've
And
heard of that before.
and they do a knitting camp every summer, and so she got the idea of doing a cross stitch camp, and so there are the challenges to do a pattern, to start and finish a pattern each month. So, unless you're a zippy, quick, fast stitcher.
Or you choose little patterns like you have.
That's what I mean. Unless you're a zippy quick stitcher, you choose little patterns like me. I'm gonna do some little things, but there are challenges for the individual months beyond that. So for June, the challenge is to do something inspired by someone else, and July is to do a new to you designer. And in August, a new to you floss or fabric. So I am going to do that. I still want to do Easter preparation, several months after Easter, and spring scamper. I still have those, and I think I'm going to probably start them maybe next week just to start them. But I want to finish this Blackwork Angels angel here. I'm almost done with it, and I almost, when I worked on it for Mania, I hoped I could finish it. But I just have like this little banner here that says love, and there's part of the banner is on her dress here. And then the lute and that she's playing, and the strings on the lute are like long stitches. It's supposed to be like black and gold because it goes over both areas, but I don't know. I have to look at it and see what I'm going to do. But so if I can finish this before June 1st, then for June 1st, there's like, I have 3 more, because this is the 5th of the Blackwork Angels. I've done 4
That's
of
neat.
them, and this one here is 5, but there's 3 more. So if I can start and finish one other one, that would be my June one, something inspired by someone else. I first saw a couple of these Blackwork Angels done by Ginger Gerald, who's another floss tuber. And I thought, oh, I really want to look for those, and so I went online, I guess, somewhere, and I bought them. And I just love they're very medieval looking, I guess, or something to me. Mm-hmm. And so I think that counts as a new start, and hopefully I should be able to finish it, hopefully. So I'm going to work on that. And then for the new to you designer, I have a couple of things here. I have, I'm going to do this, where is it? Oh no, where is he? Okay. This little tiny, this was one of the ones I bought.
We'll put a picture here.
Yeah. One of the ones I bought for, in March when they had the new designers, new things released. So this is From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. This mini spring. This is a little bunny in the garden. Yeah.
She went on a rabbit kick this year.
And so this is.
Why not?
Everybody does it in the spring. It's rabbits everywhere.
I know,
But
but you bought a lot of rabbits.
Yeah.
And they were really cute.
But this is like only 40 by 80. So I should be able to finish it in a month, I would hope. And then for August, new to you flosser fabric. I'm gonna do this January rabbit. Mm-hmm. I showed it before, and part of it is the reason why I'm doing January is because it's only 2 threads, 2 colors, because these are charted in Gloriana silks. Mm. And I wasn't gonna do because I want to do all 12 of these rabbit things eventually, and I was. To do it's 13 different colors of thread, and to do it all in Gloriana silks would be pretty expensive. So I think I'm going to do just this one because it only requires 2 colors, a brown and a white. Winter white and acorn, I think, are the colors. And so today I went to the attic. And
I was jealous. They called. They wanted to see if I could go, and I couldn't go.
Yeah. And
not that I need anything from the attic, but I would have bought something.
Yeah, like they pointed out, there's nothing in that shop that anyone really needs.
I spent as much as I would have spent on Gloriana silks. I spent in the store buying other things, but let me pull these out of here. But anyway, so I did buy the Gloriana silks for this pattern, and I bought a bunch of Weeks Dye Works threads, many of which I probably already have, at least 2 or 3 that I know I have.
See the silks.
I thought I had. Oh, I thought I had them here. Oh, yeah, they're here. So and then I bought this other silk just because it was pretty. It's one on the list, but winter white and acorns.
Well, are
two
those
colors.
two used in any of the other designs?
Yeah, I think they are.
So you can
Yeah.
use them again. It's not. Like,
And so is this
They're
evergreen.
pretty.
It's evergreen.
We'll take pictures
So-
of these.
and if you
Yeah.
don't buy them all at once, you don't feel it as bad.
Yeah.
But so I bought the rest of the week Star Works that they had. There were 2 or 3, I think, that they didn't have. But I bought a bunch of Week Star Works flosses.
Are these cotton?
Yeah.
And do they dye? This
They're
company
overdyed.
dyes them themselves.
So I bought these,
And that one.
that one, and then a few
Insert
more.
photo here. Pretty threads.
Yeah. Those are already used on something else. But yeah, so I bought a bunch of threads.
Oh, boy.
And as it was, like I said, there were 2 or 3 that they didn't have that are on that list, but I could do a combination of silks and DMC and Weeks Dye Works. But anyway, also at the attic, while I was there spending money, I bought this little Priscilla's Pocket stoneware snowman.
Oh, that's cute.
Very cute. I have one I wish I had, and I did not see the pattern there. The little kit there was this stoneware bunny. They
more bunnies.
They have a model of the bunny. I've wanted it for a long time, but I just never found it. But it's a little kit, and it has the fabric and the trim and floss. Chart linen, floss, and trim. And it's also this blue color that
I see.
I have a stoneware kitten
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
stoneware
yeah, yeah.
cat, that are sitting over there on the table.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
neat.
So I saw this and I thought, oh, look, I need it. And then I saw this one. Love My Cat Quaker. And this is by Romina Petrucci, Romy's Creations. And it has a little charm that says love on there that goes in this, it's hanging off the cat's tail. Here.
That's cute.
I just thought, and it was so cute, I had to buy it.
Quaker, as in the style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's so cute. Put a picture right here. That's neat.
So I'm going to work on the Blackrock Angel for June, the little mini spring for July, and the Rabbit for August. And those I think are going to be my cross stitch camp pieces. And embroidery.com is doing a summer challenge for the month of June. And so I think, because it really is just stitching for 30 minutes a day,
So you can do both.
hopefully every day in the month of June. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna do both that way. So yeah, so I can do before and after pictures because I'm probably gonna stitch more than 30 minutes a day most of the time. And so yeah, so I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak.
Eve, are you doing that camp?
Yes. It was my idea to go to the attic because
Because you're an enabler.
yeah. No,
I enabled her and she enabled me.
I had some patterns. Well, you've seen the Art Deco spring with the bugs, and the Art Deco summer with the dragonflies, which are also bugs, but
They're pretty bugs.
they're prettier bugs. And I have the fabrics for those, but having worked on that bookmark and knowing how long it took me, because there's one stitch of one color here and that same color another stitch over there, and because I thought, well, I could do a motif a day and I could probably get it done, but it's It's relatively big, and I thought, well, and it's a lot of counting because of the way they blend the colors.
Yeah.
So I was looking through the other patterns, and I had this whale in a light
The
bulb,
whale and the light bulb, the famous.
which I keep looking at every time I take a pattern out. I'm like, I really want to do that. So
It's so
this
cute.
this was inspired. I saw it was her first floss tube, needle and thread. She has an Etsy shop and all this. Anyway, she had been working on this, and I saw it there, and I had to go look it up because it's adorable.
Because why wouldn't you
Yeah.
have a whale?
And so I wanted
Like
to
a light
see.
bulb.
I wanted to see. I don't want to do it on white. I thought maybe something that looks oceany, but that wouldn't conflict with. So I wouldn't have these issues.
Yeah.
But I have some white Ada, and but I was thinking, maybe if there was a blue or something else, and that's what I went to look for. But when I decided to sign up for the challenge, I didn't have a new to me designer. Well, I did, but
For cross stitch camp, you mean?
yeah, for cross stitch camp. But I had I was watching Pam and Steph, and they were talking about the 25% off from Twin Peaks Primitive, and Beth had told me about them, and I had gone on there and looked. Told me about the sale, and I had gone on there and looked, and I'd seen this pattern, which is
So cute.
really cute. And I kept thinking about it, but I didn't, I said, no, I don't want to buy any new patterns right now.
What trigger?
And so I was watching, and it reminded me, oh yeah, there's that pattern. And, if I'm going to do that camp, I need a designer that's new to me. Now, I've never done any Twin Peak Primitives. It's usually,
Peak primitives.
that's what I said.
I always say it wrong. I always say Twin
Okay.
Peaks primitive. Put the X in the wrong place, like that Jimmy John's commercial.
Okay. So I went ahead
Jimmy
and
John's.
looked it up and got it.
So
But
adorable.
while I was on that website, I found another one.
That's so pretty.
So it's beautiful. And it would go with Jolly July if I did it in July. But I have something else I want to do for that. I think this would go faster for me than, because I could do this one as a new to me designer because I haven't done any of her stuff yet. But I really liked it, and I thought, that'll be good. And I wanted another fabric. So I got this taupe Lugana 28 count even weave while I was there at the attic. And so I'm going to put this on it. Now, I'm wondering if I should coffee dye it or something to give it some,
If you want
Some depth.
yeah,
some modeling.
yeah.
Modeling.
Because I think it should look old.
Yeah.
And I would want to put it in something that I scuffed it up and made it look, like when we were kids and you'd go to parades and,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Anyway, so this is my plan for July. And I'm very ambitious. I don't know what I'm thinking.
cool. So does that say Coop Parade series? Is there
Yeah.
more like that?
Well,
Yeah,
so far
there's-
there's just that one and the Canada version.
No, there's a whole bunch of
I looked up Coop series on their site, and that's what came up,
Oh.
too. Because I wanted to see if there was more.
I
And
think
if there's more,
several. Yeah.
okay. If there's more, I'll look at them. But anyway. And when I was, there's a thread I can't find. It's a mystery.
Oh yeah.
DMC 3894.
If you have one, no, just kidding.
Tell us where you bought
Call
it.
us.
Tell us where you bought it. I could have sworn I bought it at Joann's.
I have one. I have.
And
Well, she wants it.
Yeah.
and we looked at Joann's. No. We looked at the attic. No. We looked on 123 Stitch. No. I looked on DMC's website. No. Did they discontinue this color? I have no idea. Anyway,
So you went to.
so I went to Joann's. I was looking for that 3894 because I could have sworn I bought it there, and I don't know. Maybe there is a skein of it somewhere in this house, other than hers. which I borrowed for the 4 stitches that thing needs. But I have another bookmark that needs a lot of it, so, you know. But while I was there, I love snowmen. I had found this dimensions kit. And I was saying, oh, well, maybe I can do that as a new to me designer smaller. No, I've done dimensions projects before. And, you know, it's just Ada and, you know, regular cloth, regular thread, so it doesn't work for August. And then
what's August? What is it? New?
either fabric or floss that's new to you.
Used, I see.
So I kind of decided I'll get some linen. I've never worked on linen. Anyway, this I had eyed on when I saw her floss tube, Teresa Covet.
Is that a sheepies?
It's a lamb. A goat.
Kitty.
It's a goat.
Oh, it's a goat.
And she has a pig that's
Wilbur.
called Wilbur. It's equally adorable. And I don't know, this would take me forever, more than a month. Because it's 111 by 111. So, and it's very detailed, very, very, yeah. But,
realistic looking.
yeah,
So
but
cute.
I had
love
fallen
that.
in love with that. And it wasn't out yet. And I found it at the attic and I said, yeah, I'm getting it. But I still needed something for August. And I found...
What'd you do?
I made the corner of my square in the wrong thing. It's supposed to be in this one, and I made it here. I had to pull all this out.
That's not that much.
No.
So I found this little, again, I like snowmen. And there was a snowman version. And, but this little mouse was right next to it. And it comes with,
We'll take pictures of all these because that's kind of hard to see.
yeah, it comes with all these beads and the little tail and pins for the
It's like that
arms.
little hedgehog that I did.
Yeah.
And,
that's cute.
And it says to stitch it on,
That's done finished.
it says to stitch it on linen. So I have to go buy some linen. I looked at the linen that was there and the even weave and
At the attic.
yeah, and I don't need a piece this big for any of my projects. They're not tiny, but they're not, you know, giant. I mean, I just needed a little bit. And I didn't want to buy, the one I liked was kind of a big cut, and I was like, yeah, I really like that, but I don't want to buy that much of it because I don't know what else I'd use it for. Anyway, I got to go buy some linen for this. This is what is going to be my August project.
Your August.
Yeah, this is probably the only one I'm going to finish in a month. Well, you know, the whale and the light bulb isn't all that big. And it's
You'll get 'em.
not like full coverage
If you
or
really
anything.
restrict yourself to only one.
Yeah. My third thing for Mania, I had this, I don't have the picture here, but of the snowman, this is Mary
Slytherin.
Slytherin. And I had all the green up here, and I was putting in the silver Krynic, and I got to a letter here and went, I'm missing a letter.
You spelled it wrong.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell, you know, look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, because until you put the back stitching on, but I can't do the back stitching, you know, till I've done the stitching. And then I did some of the white, and it on this one inside the scarf, it's using Krynic in there, and I didn't want to put in the Krynic right away, and then I thought, well, I'll accidentally go over it if I'm starting with white. So I did a little bit of white, and then I said, no, I better go in and put all the other stuff in there. So it's coming along, but I may not finish this because I bought Stitching with the Housewives 4th of July patriotic things. I bought 3 of them, I think. Well, I bought 2, but there's 3 patterns. And I don't want to try to stitch those while I'm trying to stitch whale on a light bulb. And they have threads I haven't used. I went ahead and bought the called for Classic Colorworks. But I don't want to wait and do them in August because, you know, it's past 4th of July.
Oh.
So, and they're little. So I thought I'd do at least 1 or 2 in this last week of May and put aside my snowman. You know, the cross stitch police and the mania police are not going to come and get me.
They're not? Is this a stitch mark? Is this a...
This is I meant to. This is for
Oh.
for Rachel.
Oh.
It's an owl needle winder
Oh.
that I bought. They had
for her
at the
little
attic.
for her little
For her little
starter.
cross stitch that
Yeah.
we gave her?
Yes.
But
That you gave her? Fun.
after all of that, I have an FFO.
Oh, that's so beautiful. We'll take a really good picture and put it
And
up there.
I made these little, remember I talked about them last week, these little flowers. I made them and I kind of dressed them up a little bit with some watercolor and, you know, the leaves and everything. And it has little gross grain ladybugs that I bought from Rose Mill. I've mentioned them before on my
On your channel.
channel. I think on this one too.
Can I see it?
Yeah. So
I can't believe you made those flowers.
I just made them up too. I don't. Just kind of just went. Well, I can incorporate how they did this, and
That's so creative, though. My gosh, that's beautiful. We'll take a really good picture. That is so neat.
And-
you can see the 3-dimensional aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
it has the leaves and the flowers weaving in and out of the
Uh-huh.
wood,
The wood.
like it would in life. You know, flowers growing near
That's
Fence.
neat.
Yeah.
a fence.
Congrats, Steve. That's really cool.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have a hanger on it, but
You could just glue a piece of whatever on the back, braid or cord or some kind of.
yeah, I don't know.
Something,
I figured that was minor. I have plenty of stuff to hang things. I have hanging stuff because I do art stuff. So, but that is most of. Now, that is not what my week consisted of.
No.
So,
Wait, let's go back because it started way before that. At least for me.
yeah,
I found out that I have diabetic retinopathy in my eyes and Graves' disease in the same week. So it's been
she had a
hard
really
week
bad,
for me.
and then she got a phone call, a text from me where I said, "I don't feel good. I think I'm getting sick."
And I'm like, no.
And
And I said it, remember? I was like, COVID 2.0, and I was so concerned. And I said, you need to go to the ER right now because we have this trip planned.
well, and also I
because-
couldn't breathe.
Yeah, and because and then, so she went to I took her to the ER, but then that night I spent just having,
Well, it didn't help that that the rapid test they gave said I had COVID.
yeah.
And the
she
doctor
texted me,
was-
she says it's positive for COVID, and I'm like, I literally had post-traumatic stress
Right.
disorder.
And I
that night.
said he
Yeah.
doesn't think that's it.
And I'm like, how can that be? So then we investigated further, and the nurse, I called them.
They
the
had to
ER,
come
I'm
and say,
like,
"Is it okay if we talk to your sister?" I said, "Yeah."
yeah, and I'm like, I'm freaking out. So I called, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't? It's a positive test, but you don't think she has it? Like, we can't function like that.
Because I've had COVID and both. Vaccines.
Yeah, both shots.
They're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize during all this that it was a rapid test, and I had heard after I found that out, I was like, okay, yeah, rapid tests can be false negatives. I mean, excuse me, false positives. And so the next day she went and got an actual lab test done, and it was negative. God,
yeah. And
we were freaking out.
But meanwhile, the whole reason I'd been there was my chest hurt really bad. Now, anybody who has asthma, bad asthma, knows that when you're in the middle of a bad attack, and everything here is growing, and even though I take plenty of asthma medicine every day, sometimes my body is overwhelmed by things I'm allergic to.
Yeah.
And when you have a bad asthma attack, it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest. You can't breathe, and you can't move your chest, and it hurts. It hurts, you know, and I had to tell him, well, my chest hurts and I can't breathe. So they put cardiac monitor things on me. They were on my legs, they were on the back, they were, you know, anybody who's had that, they know.
Welcome to my world.
Okay, so when they said I could go, they didn't take any of them off.
No.
I have to take them off. And I was still finding them this
I
morning.
know. I find them in all kinds of places. I know.
And that goo doesn't come off.
No.
And you're like, ugh.
I know.
And, yeah, so.
My skin is allergic to those, so I get horrible rashes. I'm gonna have one right here too from this monitor.
And so, but thankfully he prescribed a heavy dose of prednisone, and so I am better. I can't move around very much, and I have to be very careful, you know, about exertion and stuff.
Yeah. But we're just so happy that.
But yeah,
and all of us quarantined. We called everybody that we had seen the day before, and because we had all been together for Mark's birthday right before that, the day of, right?
Yeah.
The night before, something like that.
the night before.
So
The 19th, and this was on the 20th.
yeah, and we had planned a trip to Tucson with Eli's school, and we trying to be responsible. We canceled that because we just didn't know.
And we were like
Freaking out
talking
about
about the camping trip, because, like, you know, that's another thing. It's like, because my brother is coming from New Mexico, and we're like,
He's the only one who hasn't
safe for
had it.
him?
Well,
But,
no,
you know,
Hannah hasn't.
Oh yeah,
either.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's
They're
right.
both fully vaccinated, but you know, you just don't know. It was so.
Yeah.
And I
upsetting.
kept saying, you know, well, I don't think I'm sick. I can't breathe. But
who knows with you
but
know.
last time I thought it was an asthma attack then
The
too.
doctor thought it was an asthma attack last time.
Yeah.
When you actually had COVID, remember?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So we
It's
were.
crazy.
I totally had full blown anxiety that night. I was freaking out.
Yeah, so
Excuse me while I open my. Mate.
so that was some really super good news, but because of that, I wanted to sew. I wanted to, you know, FFO the candy hearts thing.
Got the little dog down here. I'm sorry.
She's talking to the dog.
Sorry.
I wanted to do all this stuff, and no.
Well, that's like me, you know.
Well, on Wednesday when I made dinner, I made something that was really super easy. I mean, you know, nachos. It's not hard. Even though I, you know, made them with meat and all that, it was basically I just cooked the meat and microwaved the refried beans, and everything else was just, you know, taking stuff out. And you guys were helping out, so that was not a big deal. But when we were in the water in the pool, I was like, I don't even feel like going swimming. All I want to do is lie down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I didn't get a lot done other than cross stitch, and even that I had to just like put it down.
Yeah.
But I do have something funny about. So I had been working on in the cornfield a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I was struggling with eyesight. I don't remember when the last time I worked on it was, but I had worked on the orange part of the really orange part of one of the pumpkins, and I was going in today last night, and I was quarantining myself in my room, so I was going in there to put in the yellowish orange color, and I'm like, was I on crack when I did this? There was all these stitches that were you know, like over two, or you know, over two rows, or over two stitches.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what? So I just snipped it out and pulled it out a couple, and then because I wasn't going to undo anything, you know. And I have 2 still I have to do, fix. But I'm like, what on earth? Very bad.
It's like,
Very,
man,
very
you're
bad.
Sleepy. It's the worst.
Well, I wasn't sleepy when I did that orange. I just couldn't see.
Yeah.
And I discovered that the reason I couldn't see wasn't that I need a major
Prescription
change. They're adjusting my bifocals a little bit. But the reason I couldn't see is because my eyes were so dry. So it was causing blurry vision and all kinds of stuff. So.
Well, that's what I did this past week. I bought a tooth.
Oh, yeah. You got your tooth fixed. That's good.
Yeah, I got my tooth fixed.
And wasn't Dr. Nesbitt everything I said he was?
Yes.
Nice guy.
Hannah and Beth were there at the same time.
Yeah, it's funny. My
it was
daughter,
so
she
weird.
went to get her teeth cleaned, and I had no idea she'd made the appointment at her appointment. And and I had an emergency appointment with either my ophthalmologist or the retina doctor, whichever. Because a week ago I woke up with spots in my vision, freaked me out, and I was right to be freaked out. And it turns out it's a bleed, and one doctor said it was one thing, and the retina guy says no, this is diabetic retinopathy. So anyway, one of those days I couldn't take Hannah to her teeth cleaning appointment, so my husband did.
I didn't see his car there while I was there, but of course I was running around. I had a really productive day that day.
Yeah. And so she messages me that, oh, I got my tooth fixed. I was able to get in or whatever. And I was like, did you go to Dr. Nesbitt's this morning? And she's like, yeah, she was still in the lobby. But I guess she went early, and Hannah came and went before and Mark was in the lobby. He was waiting there.
Yeah, because I guess they must have just left because, I came out and texted Eve because she was going to come pick me up, when I was done. Because I had gone at 9:30 to have them, take a look at it. And
But he just decided to do it right then?
Yeah, because I guess if I had come back, I have with Medicare Advantage, I have, like if I was just going to get my teeth cleaned, I have preventive care. It wouldn't have cost anything. But because I had my broken tooth back here, that was going to need a crown, that's not covered, but I get a discount. So
dental care that doesn't cover anything.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
So
I've had it for a long time.
So
not anymore, but yeah.
So but because I do have insurance, so I get a discount on the cost of it. And so he said, well, if you do it right now, because we wouldn't have to make another appointment, so you wouldn't have to, I guess pay for that appointment and then pay for a second appointment. So if I did it, right then, he asked the nurse if, can we squeeze her in? Can we? And she said yes. And so I just went like, okay, So.
And she texted me, I'm going to be about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I went like on Toy Story when he goes 5 minutes, huh? Man, I got a lot done in that
2 hours.
2 hours. What was the first thing I did? I don't know. But
that's what I mean about him. He's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good. And
because he could have gotten paid for 2 visits.
Mm-hmm.
You realize?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's really he's so
it was really great because I asked him, about how much would that be, because I was thinking, okay, how can I afford that, blah blah blah, what I have to do, yada yada, and would I have to make arrangements for payments or whatever, I didn't know what their policy was and blah blah blah. So I was trying to think through this whole thing, and when they laid out the how much it would cost and everything, I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that, yay,
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was a little bit weird because with the brain surgery that I had 5 years ago, almost exactly 5 years ago, this side of my face is partially numb or kind of numb, and so I really can't chew on this side of my mouth. If I try to chew, I'll bite my lip or bite my cheek, but it's numb, and but the broken tooth is on this side, and so when they numbed me up, my whole mouth essentially was numb, and I think it was after the procedure or something, they gave me an ibuprofen and 2 Tylenol, and it was like, it was like, I don't know if I could. I was like, I could feel it under my tongue, but once I put it, I had to like just have faith that I was swallowing it,
Oh, wow.
But it was so funny because he said, well, let me look in there and make sure you've got it, you swallowed it. But it was so weird because it was kind of like, my whole lip was numb right here, and it was like, he was saying, you're gonna feel it, you'll feel like you have a fat lip or whatever, and I really literally felt like I had a gigantic lip here.
Oh, wow.
My whole
face.
chin,
Wow.
lower lip. But
Well, good. I'm glad he took care of you well. That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, it was nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Well, I was going to say, I have a story. So,
Sorry.
I'm wearing this old, as we say in our family, a schmata t-shirt. I'm not wearing a nice shirt for our recording, but the reason is because we have to board our little babies when we go to the mountains, and so I'm wearing this shirt. I put it on this morning. I'm going to sleep in it tonight, and tomorrow afternoon I'm going to wear it while we're getting ready and packing, so it's going to get good and stinky, and I'm going to send it with them in their little kennels, so they can, especially Hobbs, because he's Momo's baby, and so they can smell us,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to be that stinky, or the vet techs are going to be like, ew, what is that?
What's that smell?
Well, at least you don't have to worry about getting it back.
Well, no, yeah, actually I love this shirt, but it's okay.
Yeah, but if they don't get it back, it's not.
If they drag it into the litter box or whatever. Okay, so also this week remember I said I was going to try to make the angel food cake, and I did it.
It was so good.
Yes.
Hannah helped me. I couldn't have done it without her. But we did it. We were really unsure about beating the eggs, man. That is so stressful. And I told Rachel, I said, cause she went to culinary school. I'm like, I want you to come over and guide me through that again, because we tried it on our own and we just weren't sure. Like, is that stiff enough? Is it not? And it didn't happen in the time frame we thought it should. Maybe we could have gone a little longer, but we were afraid of overworking it.
Mm-hmm.
So. Anyway, but it worked, and we're so glad. And
This is why I don't bake.
I know it's stressful, but it was fun. And then we had a frosting disaster because we put strawberries on top, and then we made it was Hannah's idea to make a lemon glaze. The recipe called for either orange juice or milk, but she's like, let's do lemon. And so we did zest and lemon juice, and in the powdered sugar glaze. And we poured it over the strawberries. It was so good. But while we were waiting for my husband's birthday dinner, I guess the liquid in the icing pulled all the liquid out of the of the strawberries. We didn't think about that. And so
I'm glad they didn't think about it. It tastes like strawberry and lemonade. It was so good.
So the liquid from the strawberries just flooded. I put it in a little cake thing, and it just flooded the thing, and it was all leaking out of the cake keeper onto the countertop. And we tried to clean it up, and we put it in a bag and brought it here, and it was still those strawberries were just losing all their juice, but it soaked the cake, and it was strawberry lemonade cake. It was so good.
I have a recipe for strawberry lemonade cake that uses angel food, and it tasted like that or better.
And Mark said to me that night, he goes, that was the best birthday cake that anyone's ever made me for my birthday. So I was like, yeah.
It was very good.
So
far superior to.
But here's a secret
ones.
Story.
So where's your trophy for that?
Where's my trophy for that? Yeah. So actually, he paid me $5.
Who did?
Mark. He says, I'm going to give you, that cake was so good, I'm going to give you $5. And he handed me, because every once in a while, he'll just hand me cash, But yeah, he said, I'm going to pay you. I was like, really? $5. I'll make 4 cakes so I can have some spending cash. No, but, okay, so Okay, so I have to go back. When the pandemic hit and I would go shopping, there would be no eggs. And I knew a lady who gives me, who I buy wool from. Her name is Sonia, and she has a farm. And I knew her because I knew the farm. I knew she had chickens because I'd been out there for shearing and that kind of stuff. So I messaged her and I said, do you have any eggs and are you selling them? And she's like, whoa, everybody wants eggs right now. So back then, a year ago, when all this was bad, I started going out there every Friday and getting eggs. And I used to buy 2 dozen last year. And then when Hannah went back to school, our egg use went down, so I was only getting 1. But then sometimes I would go and she'd give me an extra one. And I don't, especially with Hannah gone, I didn't use all of them all the time. And so I would wind up with 5 dozen eggs in my fridge, and I'd make a big egg dish, So I had the idea for the angel food because it takes like a cup and a half of egg whites, right? So I'm like, this is great. So I bought all the stuff to make it, all the ingredients, and I bought an angel food pan. And I put it on my counter. Now my husband is, and I love him for it, is a clean freak, and he will put stuff away. So, okay. So I go to think about the angel food cake again, and there's no pan. It's not where I left it, of course, because I'm a slob. So I thought, okay, you put it somewhere. So I'm looking. I look in our dishes, where our pots and pans are, and and I couldn't find it. I said, Mark, where's the angel food cake pan? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, honey, I know you're the one who put it away, but he couldn't remember where he put it. And we looked all over, and when we redid our kitchen, you remember when Eli fell and all that? We redid our kitchen. No angel food pan. How do you lose an angel food pan? So
The same way you lose a llama bag.
So I had to go buy another one. So
But a llama bag is small.
yeah, I had to go. So I bought another one, and that was the one I used. But I'm like, somewhere in this house, I have another angel food pan, so I can make 2. But oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know how you lose an angel food cake pan. And that's the other thing is we cleaned out the cabinets, and it's not in the hall cabinet. We have a hall
Did he
cabinet
throw it
where
away?
we keep kitchen stuff. What?
Did he throw it away?
No, he didn't throw. He would never throw it away.
Thinking it was old?
No, he had stickers on it still. He was glad. He wanted me to make the cake, but I'm like, I don't know. I honestly, we have cleaned that kitchen out. I don't know. So anyway, that's the mystery in our house. Like, and I thought as soon as I buy one, I'll find it. But no, that didn't work. But man, yeah. But well, we are going to We're going to film from the cabin. So it might be a different format. Maybe some like smaller pieces filmed in different places. We don't know. We're just gonna make it up. And so we'll put that together, and that'll be next week. So tune in next week. And if you're subscribed and you hit the notification button, you'll for sure be notified when we put that video up. And otherwise, are we all done?
Yep.
All
I
right.
guess so. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Did we have any other stories?
Well, except for my horrible health. I already mentioned that.
Yeah.
No, I think we're okay. I think.
Yeah. Okay. just checking.
Did anything else weird happen this week? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, well, I couldn't make an eye doctor appointment because they sent me a notice and said, it's been a year since your eye doctor appointment. You need to make another one. Click down here and you can do it online. So I did it, and it said that they had no available appointments all the way through the end of August. I was like, yeah, no. And so then I tried calling, and it said, do it on our website, click. And so when I was waiting for Beth, I did a couple of other errands, and then I was kind of that direction. I said, I'm going to go over there and walk in there and say, I need an appointment. And I got one for that afternoon.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird.
And then I bought glasses.
Well, I had a miracle happen because, okay. So you know it's scary when your ophthalmologist says you need to go see a retinal specialist, and they call and make the appointment for you.
Yes. That's
And I
very
got in the
scary.
next day because he was like, "You need to go next week," and I'm like, "I'm going to be out of town next week," and he goes, "Well, you know, you really should. The protocol is 1 week, and if you wait till that next time when you're back in town, I don't know what to tell you." And I'm like, "I'm not canceling this trip." Like
We
I
almost
need to
did
take-
anyway.
Well, I know. Well, I know. But anyway, they got me in the next day because I'm like, I can go the rest of this week or I can go after. And they got me in the next day. And I'm glad they did because the ophthalmologist thought it was, okay, here's your medical terminology. He thought it was a posterior vitreous detachment, which is like the goop, the gel in your eye. It comes loose from the back of your eye, which I guess is normal in age. And sometimes it can make it bleed. And he's like, well, your diabetes. I said, is it diabetic retinopathy? And he said, no, I don't think so. And he just said, maybe your diabetes makes it more, apt to bleed or whatever. But no, it's not that. But you should go see a retinal specialist. Like, okay. So I went to see the retinal specialist, and he said, he goes, your vitreous is not detached. I see it right there in the scan, and this is diabetic retinopathy. So that was a huge wake up
And
call.
the weird thing is, I went to see an ophthalmologist who doesn't prescribe glasses, so I had to see the other eye doctor. But earlier this month, I went to see the ophthalmologist, and we were talking about diabetic retinopathy, because he said, yeah, your eyes look really good. You don't have any indication that that's starting, and I was very worried. I even called you.
Yeah.
Because her blood sugar,
I've
sometimes
been having trouble controlling it, and even with trying to control my diet and meds, and I'm on 3 different meds. So there's obviously other things going on, and actually it could be my hyperthyroid, the Graves' disease, which I just found out I had. Also, it could be that making it worse. So,
So I was worried.
well, yeah, but the last eye exam I had, they said, no, your eyes look fine. Your eyes look fine. Your eyes look fine. And I wake up with spots, and no, your eyes don't look fine. So that was fun, but
But I'm
he
glad
says-
you were worried and went ahead and got
Yeah, I
seen
am
right
too.
away.
I'm glad I went in. But he said that it's nothing they have to treat right now, and we know it's there. We caught it early, and I can hopefully keep ahead of that. And but the Graves' disease is like, that's a whole new ball game. That's a whole new. It's
Yeah.
like hyperthyroidism and all. It explains. I mean, I literally thought I was losing my mind this spring. I thought I was just. It was grief. I thought, that's why I'm having these panic attacks and just upset all the time, and of course it played a part, but it was exacerbated by the hyperthyroidism. So I'm glad at least that's not all gone, but I'm glad at least I know what it is. So. When I start to feel that way, I don't think you're going crazy, I try to, I have more, coping mechanism, I guess. So now that's a whole new thing. Got to figure out what to do,
Yeah.
So I see my doctor in mid-June. So we'll make a plan.
I
guess.
forgot to mention what I was working on.
What are you working on? The
Yeah.
tomatoes?
Tomato seeds by
They're
Stitching
so
with the Housewives.
cute.
I've got it done from here down. Now I'm up on the top. When I first looked at this, at the pattern, I mean, I liked the picture when I took the pic, when I bought it, but I thought I'm not going to be able to see that white and
On the blue.
but I can see it. And I love this pattern down here. It's
green.
so
Is it
pretty.
green?
It's 2 greens and this same white.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and I really like it. But it calls for black to say tomato right here. And I kind of want to use the blue that she put here
Oh, wow.
instead. Because there's no black anywhere else on this.
Yeah.
And that's a really pretty blue.
It's nice and dark.
Yeah, it's dark. I think it would look nice.
But Eve, why are you making a tomato seeds pattern when you hate tomatoes?
Because
That's a
Hannah likes them.
question. Oh, because Hannah likes them.
She
My
can buy
daughter.
some tomato seeds. Maybe I can buy a packet of tomato seeds.
It's
Because you
cute.
can grow tomatoes on a balcony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, she's going to have another place out kind of further out of town, so it might have more. She might be able to put a tomato plant somewhere. It's cute.
Yeah. Anyway, and I think it looks good on this color. The white is a little bit kind of washed out, you know,
On the
right
blue?
here
Yeah.
and right there, but not so bad that I feel like I need to outline it or something.
Yeah. Because they're all of their patterns are like chalkboard patterns, so they look
Yeah, and
she designs on a chalkboard background, so they're all on black.
and I don't mind that, but I don't
So-
want to put everything on white. I don't want to put everything on black. I don't mind putting some things on black or some things on darker colors. And I don't mind lighter colors. I mean, this is really light, but
So I was gonna say, the word tomato is stitched. Because I know some of their patterns, you know, are unstitched because they're on black. So
It's negative space.
it's,
Yeah.
it has
But those are stitched.
yeah, it has stitched. But I was thinking about doing it in blue.
6, 7,
Yeah,
I think it would be pretty.
yeah. You could do that.
11, 12.
Yeah.
Just because there's no black anywhere else on there,
Mhm.
you know. And it would be dark. So,
Yeah. That's nice.
Do it last, and then you can decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I can start putting in some of the blue, and if I don't like it, I can take it out.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I'm going to save the word.
I was gonna say do the around the word first, and then you can do one letter in blue and see how you like it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, because Mary Slytherin is in timeout. Well, you know, it's like how many times?
Because you missed a letter.
Okay, I have to tell you. So when I started working on it, I stitched it. Where's the fabric? Okay, so I stitched it this way, and I did all of that green stitching. Okay, and this direction, this measurement is exactly the same as the Mary Gryffindor. But when I was looking at the pattern, I was like, that's gonna go to right here. If I start it exactly where the Mary Gryffindor did, this goes further down on the pattern. It's longer. So I took it all out and turned
Oh, I see.
The-
Turn it that.
turned it this way. So I had to do it again. And this time when I was putting in the green, I didn't realize that a big old loop and knot and stuff was in the back.
Oh, no.
And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I had to take out most of it. And so now I left out a letter. So it's in time.
You go in timeout.
Time out for you.
Timeout. Yeah, I need to decide what project I'm taking to the cabin. Do you guys know what you're taking?
I will either take those patriotic things or maybe my snowman.
What are you thinking?
I'm probably gonna take this
The
because
black rectangle.
I'm probably not gonna finish it
Before that.
tonight, and I have to spend some time doing laundry, cleaning the cat box, blah blah blah,
Packing.
and packing.
Yeah.
I did make a list of stuff to take
that's
and to remember, and like those T-shirts that.
Oh,
They're right there.
Yeah, I know.
The t-shirts
But
are
I was like, I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget this. I don't want to forget, So,
Yeah, I gotta decide what I'm gonna take. I was thinking about taking the cross stitch top, this top, because I really want to
Crochet,
get
you
it.
mean?
The crochet. Guess
You
what I
said
meant.
cross, yeah.
The crochet top, because I really want to try to get it done before she goes back
Yeah.
to Boston. So that's only gonna leave me. So
Yeah.
that's a huge, chunk of time I don't want to miss. Because I thought about just taking my mom, my Esther shawl, because I don't need I don't need my iPad for that. I don't need, I don't need a pattern. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a pattern, but it's paper and it's easy to go. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take both because I might just because my problem is I get so sick of doing stuff. So that's why motifs like this, I'm so bad about it. I'm like, I'm sick of this. Like, I wanted to make this bedspread when I was young. I made this thread crochet square for a bedspread. I made one. And I was like, I cannot make whatever it was, 50 of them or whatever. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know how Grandma did it. But, so I think I'll take both. Because then if I get sick of one, because you need some stuff you can do without thinking. Well, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you do it, but like, there's some knitting you can just do without thinking.
Well, it's like that baby sampler.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. So I
round the corner.
Yeah.
I only had to count like where the corners were.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I had a scare because like I had started.
You had a scare, but you didn't care?
No, I did care because I'm like, oh my god, because I didn't want to do it wrong,
Yeah.
and so like I had started the outer border. I had started it. Oh, who knows when, and I had done like an L shape of the top corner, and so I just went down and I counted very carefully how many stitches and everything. So I did the corner, and I came back up and I counted again, and I came up, and then when I got to the other top corner, I was kind of is that 7 or 8 or it's different, and I'm like, wait a minute, this down here was 8, and this was and this was hot, and so I was like, oh, did I do it right? So I'm like double checking, triple checking. It's like, okay, it's right.
After all that, and then you're like, I don't want to
yeah,
do that.
because I thought do I have to pull it all out? Because but at the same time I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I want to do it right. But if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right.
What I really want to do is take the paints that I was going to use to paint Calvin and Hobbes. But that means a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. But otherwise, I need uninterrupted time in order to work on that. And I don't even know if I'm going to get that up there. But since I have this asthma issue, I'm not going to push it by trying to
do too much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm better, but if I exert myself at all, I carried Robert's laundry from the dryer up toward his room, and by the time I went to put it down, I was like, so I haven't even taken mine out of the dryer.
Yeah. Well, we're all sharing, meal stuff, so you can have some. You'll probably have a lot more uninterrupted because you're not gonna fish. That's mostly why we're going. Why we're taking Dad.
No, I don't fish. I don't eat fish,
She's
so I don't
afraid of
take them out of the
worms.
water. No, I'm not. I've wormed many hooks, but it's not fair to take fish out of the water if you don't want to eat them.
Well, we're gonna eat them. You better eat them. But anyway,
Nope.
so yeah, she don't like fishing. So she doesn't like fishing, so you'll have a lot of time because I think that's what we're mostly gonna do. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward
Tim
to
is
it.
pretty good fishing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim and Dad and I and Eli are
And
probably
Robert, he has his fishing license, so he's
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, so we're going to fish. Oh yeah, we might need some more. I got 3 jars of salmon eggs. Probably gonna need some more.
Oh yeah.
Didn't think about it. I forgot about Robert. But yeah. So tune in next week to see how the camping adventure goes.
Yeah.
It's not real camping. We're not staying in a tent or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're staying in a nice big cabin, and it'll be good. So tune in next week, and you'll see all the sights. We'll make sure we'll get some footage of the town of Greer. This is beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Oh,
So,
I just one thing you were talking about your T-shirt. Mine's we're all wearing funny T-shirts because yours has the speed limit thing.
This is it says speed limit
186,000 miles per
per
second.
second. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. And that comes from a Star Trek episode where they couldn't go over warp 7 anymore.
So, and mine says, "It's just a big damn bridge. Get over it."
from Arkansas.
Yeah,
From Little Rock.
and it's DAM, not DAMN. So
Lest you think she's cussing.
yes, the big damn bridge. There's
Because there's a bridge called that.
well, it has some like technical, Buddy Valines, blobby blah, Pulaski County, some blah 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 name, but everybody calls it the Big Dam Bridge because it goes over Murray Locken Dam, and it's big. And they have a race, not a race, a ride
Yeah.
every year. So
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
we're really going this time.
Bye.
Bye.